I'm Kristen, the dietitian. Today I want to share with you some of the book and book-themed gifts that I got my family for Christmas. These are not the only things that we have for our children for Christmas gifts, but in my channel I love to focus on food, nutrition, recipes, and books. If you're a book lover too, I'm sure you can appreciate some of these books and maybe even give you some ideas on book-themed gifts for your loved ones. So some of the gifts that I got my husband are books. So one of the things I bought was from a library. It's called O Ranger. It's true stories from national parks. And my husband's really interested in traveling to national parks. We went to Yosemite National Park this past summer. We've been to Cuyahoga and Mammoth Cave, which are all national parks. So, and I'm sure we're gonna go to a bunch more. The description says, O Ranger provides an insider's view into the most beautiful, historic, and culturally significant treasures in America. It's a collection of exciting adventure stories told directly by the experts, National Park Rangers. So the stories in here are written by National Park Rangers themselves. So I think he'll really enjoy this. Another book-themed gift I got my husband, it hasn't arrived yet, but it's called Systematic Theology, and it was written by Wayne Grudem. This is a book for those who love to read the Bible but want a deeper understanding of the different themes and different things that you can learn from the Bible. So it's kind of a great book to have if you're a believer and you really want to dig deep into God's Word. Now, sometimes to help my husband out, I like to pick out my own gifts that he can then wrap and give to me. Naturally, being a book lover, several of the gifts I picked out are book themed. So one that I got, this was actually from Etsy. It's a sweatshirt that says book club on it. And I love the color, I love the type, and what it says. I am actually in a book club with some close friends. We try to meet once a month when possible, so I'm gonna love wearing this. One of the books that we read in book club was Kristen Lavransdatter. It was written by Sigrid Undset. This is what it looks like. It's a huge book. It's actually a trilogy. This one has all 3 books in one. This book, let's see, I'll tell you how many pages it has. So there are 1,124 pages in this trilogy. So we did read this book and I decided to give it to my friend and then realized that I would really love to own a copy to keep on my bookshelf. So I got this for myself so my husband can then gift it to me. I've also really wanted to read Pilgrim's Progress. Now I've read the children's version, Little Pilgrim's Progress, with my kids and I loved it. This is the version for adults, which is the original. It's written by John Bunyan. I love how beautiful it looks with the gold edges and just the cover is really pretty. And it has, I believe, illustrations inside too. I can't open it because it is covered in plastic, so I'll have to wait till Christmas morning to open it. Okay, and the last book themed gift that I chose for myself that we'll all be able to enjoy is a banker's lamp. Even though it's called a banker's lamp, I think a lot of libraries have them. I just love the feel it gives to the room. It's a beautiful green lamp that will just add a lot of aesthetic to our reading space in our home. Okay, moving on to gifts for my children. I love to give them books for Christmas and for birthday gifts. Because my husband and I love to read, our children have picked up on that habit themselves, and it's something I feel really good about as a parent. So I did go to thriftbooks.com to grab a lot of these books. Actually, all of these are from Thrift Books. That way we didn't have to pay the full price for brand new. But my daughter helped pick them out, and the first one she wanted was The Floor is Lava. She saw her teacher at school had this on her desk. We checked it out from the library and she absolutely loves it, so she wanted to own it. It has a lot of great fun game ideas in here. My daughter is also really into non-fiction American Girl books, so a lot of these are from years ago, but if you go to a thrift bookstores you're able to find a lot of them. So there's some fun quiz books that they have, like this quiz book here. And then a lot of these nonfiction books cover different topics for girls, and they're really inspirational. They're fun to read. This one's Dream It, Do It, Careers Quiz Book. A Smart Girl's Guide to Style. School Smarts. This is all the right answers to homework, teachers, popularity, and more. A Smart Girl's Guide to Starting Middle School. My oldest is in 6th grade. A book all about boys for girls. And then also the Celebrate book. It just gives a lot of good ideas on what you could do for different holidays for fun. So she's excited about this one for sure. And I did let her pick out which one she wanted because she has a bunch already, but there's so many she still doesn't have. So I had her show me which ones she doesn't have that she would love to read. Okay, and because I love literature, I love poetry, I love books and reading, I did find a really cool set of poetry books. These are actually published by Sterling Publishing Company Incorporated, and their Poetry for Young People is the book series, and they highlight different famous poets. So for example, this one is Robert Frost. I got all of these on thriftbooks.com as well. I actually saw these in the vintage shop I was looking in. I was looking through all the books, but some of them were not in great shape, so I decided to look online, and sure enough I was able to find a bunch of them. So it has a lot of poetry by the author, the original author, and beautiful illustrations to go with it. Here's The Road Not Taken. I think we all are familiar with that Robert Frost poem. So I also got Poetry for Young People, Robert Louis Stevenson, Edgar Allan Poe, Lewis Carroll. You can see there's some fun illustrations. So some of these are more like serious, while others are a little bit more silly. I also got Walt Whitman, American poetry, all different poets in this one. And then I also got Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes. For example, here's Aunt Sue's Stories. I love that you can really get into different cultures with poetry too. And then here's William Shakespeare. So they have different excerpts from different writings that Shakespeare wrote. So for example, here's from A Midsummer Night's Dream, Hamlet. So it's just a small portion of Hamlet, but it's beautiful writing. Macbeth. So there's that. Now I have wrapped some gifts already, and I'm realizing that I wrapped some of the gifts for my other daughter. So we did get her an illustrated version of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and we got her the illustrated version of Fantastic Beasts. So those are already wrapped. I can't show you them here. But we're excited about those for her. She loves Harry Potter just like I do. My husband enjoys it. Actually, all my kids like Harry Potter. We'll be able to share those books. I also got my middle daughter a story button. These are audiobook players, but they also play children's podcasts. They do connect to the internet, but that is so that they can play podcasts that are streaming. And everything is made for children. There's no screen to watch. There's a screen to choose what podcast or book or music that you want to listen to, but there's no screen movie show to watch, which is wonderful. So this is another way that my children are able to enjoy books, kids podcasts, which come out in episodes, and my kids absolutely love it. My son has a story button. I'll show it to you. It's already a year old. You can tell it's well loved. It's chipping, peeling here on the edges, and my daughter keeps taking his podcast player so that she can listen to it. So they have been fighting over it. It is time for her to have her own. So I'll just show you real quick how this looks. I'm just turning it on. You can see the tiny screen loads, and then you'll be able to go to the selection screen. So you can see all the different podcasts. And they actually just added a new feature where you can download other podcasts if you pay for a subscription. So you can just buy the podcast player. There's a ton on here already. You don't have to buy a subscription, but if you want more options, you can pay for a subscription to have it. I'm not being paid to advertise for this, but I do want to share it with you. It's a great idea for anyone who wants their kids to listen to books or podcasts. If your kids love reading, if they don't love reading, it might be a great way to get them into books, and also off of screens where they're watching movies, TV shows, or playing video games. This is a really great way to get them to use their imagination. They have to create the pictures in their own imaginations. So my daughter's gonna be so excited to have her own. And then my son, he's really into Plants vs. Zombies, which is a video game, but they created an activity coloring book, so I bought that for him. And he does read the graphic novels. I was going to give him some of those for Christmas, but we ended up buying other things for him, so we will probably end up getting those for his birthday. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some ideas for any friends or family that you know love books. Hope it inspired you, and I am really looking forward to digging into all these books with my kids, and just having that cozy lamp or our cozy reading space. One of our dreams is to set up a library in our home. We would love to set up a space just for those books, to have bookshelves, maybe a fireplace, some cozy chairs to sit in, of course warm, friendly lighting, to have like a nice little nook kind of place to read as a family. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to making my next video for you.